What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my thoughts and predictions on the next episode of The Walking Dead, which is the finale, Season 7, Episode 16, titled The First Day of the Rest of Your Life. Now, I don't do spoilers, so all my predictions are off of the comics and what I know of the show and the habits and where I can see the story going. If you've watched any of my other prediction videos, you know that's true because they're mostly wrong. But this episode, I think I have a really good grasp on what's going to happen. Now, it's been a really slow season. Most fans are really tired of how slow it's gotten. It's been slow for a reason. Yes, I feel like they could have picked things up a little bit more. But this episode will make it all worth it. Trust me. Now, before I get into what I think is going to actually happen in the episode, let's talk about the title for a minute. The first day of the rest of your life. Now, if you remember the finale of 6/16, last season, season 6, that episode 16 was called Last Day on Earth. And it was basically about the group in a really shitty situation, on their knees. Somebody's getting ready to get killed, or maybe all of them, they didn't know at that moment. And they were in a situation they've never been in before, where they were absolutely helpless, nothing to save them at all. Right? Okay. And it's kind of a hopeless episode. It ends on a bleak and dreary moment. Not just the cliffhanger, but what's actually happening in the episode as well. So now this one is the first day of the rest of our lives. It's a more positive title. It's a more uplifting title. This episode will end on a good moment. Will it end on a cliffhanger? Of sorts. It's going to not be a cliffhanger where it's cut in the middle of a scene. It's going to be more of a cliffhanger at like season 4, where the season came to a close. They reached their goal of reuniting with the group at Terminus, but then they were locked in a train car. So yes, there was what's going to happen next, but it was an ending to the season. There was a final scene. You weren't stuck going like, oh my God, right? Like you were with 6/16. So this is going to be more like the season 4 finale, where it's going to have an ending, but it'll still be sort of a cliffhanger into, oh wow, where's it going to go next season? Okay. So the titles, I'm going to do a whole episode about the titles of this season. Maybe I'll even go back and do episodes for the other titles. They really do a good job with the titles of the show, at least since Scott Gimple has taken over, since season 4. The titles have such meaning. It's amazing. So, yes, the first day of the rest of our lives. Something positive. It's going to end on a different note than season 6 ended. I already said that. Okay, let's get into the actual episode of it. We got a 90-minute episode, or close to 90 minutes. Maybe it's like 80 or 75 minutes or something like that. But it's longer than usual. So now, for the first half of this episode, it's going to be not action-packed. We're going to deal with Rick and the junkyard, then bringing them the guns and trying to recruit the soldiers. And as you all know from watching my other videos, if you haven't watched them, give them a watch. I don't trust Jadis. I don't trust the scavengers, the junkyard crew. I think they're going to turn on the group. I don't think they're working with the saviors. Will they join the saviors? Maybe. If there's something in it for them, I can see that. But they don't bother. They take. So I don't really see them joining any group. I see them getting the guns and then screwing Rick and them over. How is that going to happen? I'll talk about it right now. Why not? What I think is going to happen, they're going to give them the guns. The junkyard crew is going to come to help. And before the saviors get there, they're going to turn on the group. And I think there's going to be some fighting inside the Alexandria walls between the junkyard community and the group. I don't think it's going to last long. I think it's basically just going to be them trying to take more from Alexandria, and Alexandria is saying no. But I could be totally wrong, and we could basically just have them not show up for the final battle, or to disappear in the middle of the battle. I definitely think they're going to turn on the group in this episode. So Junkyard definitely going to turn on the group, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if you notice from the trailers, there's a roadblock. Simon gets out of the truck. There's a big tree in the way. We also see various Alexandrians moving cars, like to block the road, the same way the Saviors did. And Alexandria's been doing that for a while, bringing cars in with spikes in them and stuff to stop walkers. But now I think they're trying to set sort of an obstacle course to slow the Saviors down, to give them more space between them and the Saviors whenever they come to attack. And I also think they're going to be drawing them in a certain way. The same way they led the walkers that were surrounding Alexandria away, and the same way that Terminus led everyone to Terminus to kill them, and the same way that in season 4 finale, the title of the episode is A, Rick teaches Carl about the snare trap and how you leave a trail and the trail narrows until the rabbit gets caught in the snare. So I think they're using that tactic against the Saviors, and I believe it's going to work beautifully. So that's what I think is going to be going on in Alexandria for the first half of the episode. The Junkyard crew setting up Alexandria in case the Saviors come to attack. Because I think Dwight's going to be giving them information that, look, they know that they have Sasha and they have Eugene and they know that you're ready to attack and all this other shit. So I think the Saviors are definitely coming to Alexandria. Now let's touch on them. The Saviors. Alright, Sasha has a plan to kill Negan and herself. Negan says in the trailer he's got a plan for Sasha, that she's going to help them. I don't know what he says. I forgot his exact words. But somehow Sasha's going to help them in what they're going to do against Rick and Alexandria. Now, most people are speculating. I'm one of them. I was speculating since the beginning of the season that Sasha was going to get the Holly situation from the comic. I'm not going to spoil what happens there in case you don't read the comics and you don't want to know. But there's a character, Holly, who was Abraham's. She is the Sasha of the comic, where Abraham leaves Rosita for Holly, just like he leaves Rosita for Sasha in the show. So I'm not saying that Holly dies or what happens. There's more terrible things that can happen to you in The Walking Dead other than death. Remember that. But I think Sasha is going to get the Holly situation. How is it going to happen? I definitely think it's going to be different. Because now that Sasha has the poison pill, I think that's going to come into play in a big way on what happens between Sasha and Negan. I'll leave that at that. But yes, Negan now, I don't think he knows that Daryl's at Alexandria, but I think he has a sneaking suspicion that Rick knew that Sasha was coming there to kill Negan or whatever. So I think he's going to confront Rick. And what I think he wants to do is similar to what he tried to do to Gregory. Is I think he's going to try and talk Sasha into going in there and killing Rick or another Alexandrian to make a point to Rick. Do I think it's going to play out that way? Maybe. Probably not. Okay? But yeah, that's what I think Negan's plan is to get Sasha, because I think Sasha's going to make him think that she's on his side, and I think that's going to come into play, but somebody's going to catch her with the poison pill, something. Something's going to happen with that pill to make Negan know that Sasha's not on his side, and then that's where I think things are going to go in a bad way, and it's not just going to be bad for Sasha, it's also going to be bad for another one of our main characters. Now, who do I think it's going to be bad for? There's a few people. I'm not going to give reasons because I don't want to spoil. But I think either Eugene, Tara, or Rosita are going to die because of what happens with Sasha. One of those three characters I think are going to die in the finale. I'll talk more about that after the finale because I don't want to spoil nothing for you guys if I'm right. If they do go off the comics more than I think they are, right? Okay, so All right, so Negan and them are going to come. There's definitely going to be a battle. There's definitely going to be a skirmish. We're going to get two great speeches, one from Negan, one from Rick. And the one from Negan is going to be funny and scary, and it's going to motivate the Saviors in a great way. I love it. It's one of the best Negan monologue speeches from the comic book. We're definitely getting that. The big swinging dick of this world. Just remember that. And we're going to also get an awesome remix scene with Michonne. It's an Andrea scene from the comics. I'm not going to tell you what happens. It happens inside of a tower or a tall building, and it's going to involve Michonne and one of the Saviors. In the comic, it's a man. In the show, I think it's going to be a woman. I think it's going to be Arat, the chick who scarred Rosita and shot Olivia. That's who I think it's going to be, a skirmish between those two. That's going to be absolutely amazing. It might be a dude to make it more intense, but you guys are going to love this scene, and it's not going to go well for somebody in that building clock tower. Let's put it that way. And Negan is going to be now aware, of course, that Rick is not his little bitch no more, that Rick has not really been playing Negan, but been plotting behind his back, that Rick and them have guns, that Daryl's alive, that Maggie's alive. I think Negan's going to find all of this out in this episode, and it's going to blow Negan back, and it's going to give the group that upper hand, and it's going to kind of make Negan rethink how he's got to handle Rick, because Rick is not the same as all these other communities that he's been dealing with all this time. And this is going to all come to light to Negan, and it's going to be scary for him. And we're going to see a little bit of that fear in Negan by the end of the episode. I guarantee it. All right, so that's what I think is going to happen there. Yes, I do think a couple of Alexandrians are going to die. So I'm going to just pull a couple of names out. I think that Tobin might die, but maybe not. I can see him staying around for All Out War. I think Eric is definitely going to die. That's Aaron's boyfriend. And I also think we might get like a couple of nameless deaths, like red shirt people from Alexandria that we may have never even seen before just get capped. We'll definitely get some junkyard people dying. And I think they're going to die at the hands of Rick and the survivors. But we'll see how that plays out. I already touched on that. And lastly, let's talk about the Kingdom and Hilltop, which I don't think are going to be big, huge parts of the episode, but they will play a big role and they will be involved in the episode. Now, I do believe that, let's talk about Hilltop first, because I think they're going to have the least part of the episode. I do believe that we will not find out who Negan's little birdie is this episode. I believe we will be hinted at it, and if you read deep into it, you'll know. But I don't think it's going to be blatantly said until next season. I think it's Gregory. He leaves with Cal, the Chinese dude Asian dude, I should say, sorry, from the Hilltop. They leave in one point in the episode, and I think they left, and he went and told Simon that the group was ready to fight against them. But I don't know if we're going to find that out in this episode. I don't think we'll find that out till next season. But we may find that out this episode because they need something to do with Hilltop. But we'll also get Maggie and Gregory. Gregory putting his foot down that he's the leader, and Maggie saying, well, you're a pussy and you're not a good leader. And the Hilltoppers being somewhat divided, where some of them are saying, well, Gregory kept us alive this long, while others are saying, but Maggie's right. Gregory's a bitch. So that's all I think we'll get with the Hilltop. Will they make it to Alexandria by the end of the episode? Maybe. But I'm not too sure about that. They may actually have to go up against Simon's group. I don't know. Or they may not be involved in the action at all. I could totally see that too. But Maggie is going to be so set up for being the leader, even more so than before. And I believe we will get this line from Maggie big time. I believe in Rick Grimes. So big swinging dick and I believe in Rick Grimes are two things we're definitely going to hear this episode. Finally, let me try and wrap this up. I know this video is long. Sorry guys. Thanks for sticking with me. Finally is the Kingdom. Most of them I think it's going to be them on the road to Alexandria. First they'll try and of course get Morgan to go, and Morgan's not going to go. I think Morgan is going to be on some clear shit but a more sane version of clear, where he's not clearing everything, walkers, all people, where he's only going to be clearing walkers and saviors. And maybe not even walkers, maybe just saviors. But eventually his story will come back with the group, I think, by the end of the episode. Because he's probably going to be tracking some saviors, and he's probably going to track them to Alexandria. So I think Morgan will be separated, but we will see him here and there throughout the episode in bits and pieces. And I also think that we will see the kingdom get involved in some action. Will they make it to Alexandria by the end of the episode? Yes, I think so. But even if they don't, we will get some action with them versus some random savior group they come across, and some walker action. And I guarantee you will see Shiva get badass. I guarantee you will see Shiva maul and kill walkers and humans alike. And we will also see Ezekiel get badass, who we haven't seen yet get into any real action. We'll probably get a good speech from him too, rallying his people up. All right, that's pretty much it. That's what I think is going to happen for the episode. It's going to be huge and exciting. The first half hour, maybe 40 minutes, but I doubt it, with commercials, is going to be a little bit slower, but still exciting. It's going to be, amping you up for what's to come. That last hour, that last 45 minutes to an hour is going to be pure action and adrenaline and suspense. If it's not all action, when there's no action, you will be in suspense, you will be thrilled, and your heart will be racing if you're a fan and you pay attention. I guarantee it. I'm putting my stamp of approval on it. I'm going to be mad at the show if they prove me wrong. But I think I got a good grasp on the predictions for this episode. So if you like the video, definitely like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you got anything you want to say about the prediction, your own predictions, whether you think I'm right, whether you think I'm wrong, or whether you just want to call me an asshole, show me some love down below. Hit up the comments. Let me know. There's only one way I'm going to hear you. Other than that, that's it for the episode. I'm so excited for the finale. There's going to be tons of Walking Dead videos being posted this week and next week after the finale. I'll be posting tons of Walking Dead stuff with, some of my other content as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks again for watching. You guys have a good day. That's it for this vid, and I will see you next time.